Hey y'all, Mike with Cardboard Kingdom. Today I have a very special episode. I am joined by Mike Skinner, first to 20 on Twitter. He is a lot more of a seasoned TCG veteran than I am, and I want to talk to him about the upcoming announcement on May 6th that Disney Lorcana announced yesterday, I guess, the announcement of the announcement. Just want to get his thoughts on some things that might be coming down the pike and just general thoughts overall on where we're at with Lorcana. So to start, I want to have Mike introduce himself and just give us a little bit of backstory on how he got into trading card games, how he got into
Sure.
Lorcana, and just kind of fill us in on who you are.
For sure. Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be
Absolutely.
here and chat. Always any opportunity I can get to run my mouth about cards. I'm always open to that. So
Love
thanks
it.
for bringing me on.
Absolutely.
And yeah, my name's Mike Skinner. Most people call me by my last name, Skinner. It's a little easier to remember. And yeah, I go first to 20. I've been making content since the beginning of the game, but honestly, have very much been stagnant. Once their online client disappeared, which will not be named, and all these things started to happen.
Yep.
It just became a lot harder to make content. So I really, appreciate you being able to find things and interesting things to make content about because I think
Yeah.
that's really important. And it's really hard right now, to be honest. So, I mean, props to you for that. And
Thank you.
yeah, for me, I started playing cards. Wow, I mean, my whole life pretty much. I started
Yeah.
with Pokemon. I never played it. I was like many others in our age
Yep.
group that we just
Absolutely.
collected,
Yep.
looking for that shiny cardboard. I think we all still
Absolutely.
can relate
Love
to
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so yeah, just a big collector. I love the show. Yu-Gi-Oh came out around that time. I also didn't really play it too much. I
Okay.
knew the rules, but like just kind of dabbled. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until Magic the Gathering that I really became hooked on card games. This is like
Okay.
back in middle school where I had these, I was a nerdy kid growing up, so
Yep.
I ended up in some, you pick your friend circle as a kid, and like, oh, do I hang out with these guys or who am I sitting with at lunch,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
the guys that I would sit with, they were big into playing Magic, and I was like, what is this? What is happening on the
Uh-huh.
table right now?
Okay.
And I went down that rabbit hole, and I played. I won't say competitively, like I was never on a pro tour or anything, but I would say somewhat competitively. Like, I played in any big tournaments that came up, kind of like the DLC level stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I played in a
Hey,
lot. I
that's
played in a
more than
lot.
me. I would consider. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's just any kind of events. I wasn't in Magic. It's a little different. They actually have like a or I don't know if they still do because I don't follow it as much, but they have a circuit essentially.
Okay.
So they have like pro tours. You're qualified, and then you get to travel to these events, and then like you gain points, and then those points accumulate so you can play at the world events, and like
Okay.
there's a whole like the
There's
whole
levels to
tier
it. Yeah.
structure. Right, there's a whole structure, right, exactly. So I was never among that. I know DeCandio, who's very big in this
Uh-huh.
community,
Yeah.
he was among, those
Okay.
and many others, Zan as well. I never really got to that level, but I love playing Friday Night Magics, locals, bigger
Uh-huh.
tournaments, this and that. And I played that pretty much until I, I don't know, maybe late high school, and then I just started dabbling in other games. I played the Naruto card game pretty competitively for a long time. I
Okay.
went to a lot of big tournaments for that. A little bit of Dragon Ball. I've dabbled in everything,
Done a
but
lot.
my
Okay.
true yeah, but my true love is Disney. I am a Florida kid, Miami,
Right.
and born and raised Disney. I'm wearing sleeves right now, but my whole arm is covered in Disney tattoos. Like
Okay.
I'm in that brand. So when they decided they were going to be doing a card game, it seemed like a no-brainer. I mean, I
That's a
love
no-brainer.
TCGs.
Yep.
Yeah, I love Disney. I love TCGs. So what's not to love?
Absolutely.
And I've been hooked ever since. I've been playing, um, you know, as much as possible. I've really loved the game and everything they've been doing with it. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm
Okay.
at now. I've been doing a little more commentary stuff. I know I told you, but to your viewers, I am a little
Yes,
sick right now,
absolutely.
so I apologize.
No worries.
But yeah, doing commentary, and this weekend also doing some commentary
Hmm.
over at SSG for their big tournament coming up. So yeah, just trying to stay involved as much as I can, and looking forward to hopefully a bright future for this game.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very excited about the future as well, and I appreciate you sharing that backstory. And I've got to say, like, so I'm here in the Midwest in Kansas City, but I travel to Florida probably 2 to 3 times a year for work, roughly, give or take. And I've every time I go there, like, it's extremely hot, like it's miserable, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get back to Missouri. Like, and
Yeah.
for someone in Florida, you're like, I would never live in Missouri, but that's
Well, it's been nice the last couple of weeks, I won't lie, but
yeah,
it's getting back to that humidity today, and that's just
brutal.
yeah.
I
You
had to
could keep
play.
it. I don't want it.
Yeah, dude, I had to play at a golf tournament in July down there 2 years ago, and
Sorry
it
to hear that.
was pathetic. It was like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Like, and it was for
Yeah.
work, and I mean, look, it was a good day. We had fun, but it was just like, all
Sure.
right, what's going on here? But I say all of that to say that the SSG events that are constantly happening down there, like I've never wanted to live in Florida, but until this, it's like, dude, because
Yeah.
I am much more
It's
of like a collector, and like I share this experience with my family, and like
sure.
Lorcana, it was not a planned thing for me. Kind of just happened
Right.
out of nowhere, swept us up, and I've absolutely fallen in love with it. But I've been
Awesome.
playing the game more and more. I go to like set champs, just very casually, play with my
Yeah.
friends on, unknown networks and whatnot, just having some fun. But like seeing these SSG events every weekend, I'm like, dude. And I'm talking to my buddies, we're like, that would be so much fun to just like, hop out on a weekend, play a tournament Saturday and Sunday. Like if it was right down the
Yep.
street, like I don't know, it would. I'm very, very envious of what you guys have, and it sounds like you guys are absolutely crushing it. So just hats off to everything you guys are doing. And I'm
Yeah.
curious, so are you like? I know you're casting the tournaments. Are you a member of SSG? Like, what's kind of the relationship there?
Sure. So, first of all, I'll agree with you 100%. It's very, very fortunate to live where I'm living right now. We are surrounded by card shops, to be honest. If I
Okay,
drive an hour in any direction, I'm passing two or three shops,
that's
So,
awesome.
I know a lot of places don't have that luxury, and it's,
Nope.
unfortunate, but I'm very blessed to say that we do have an awesome. That's part of why our community is so strong down here, right? We have people from all sorts of different stores and stuff, and we really have
Mm-hmm.
a big collab down here. But SSG, actually, I'm not technically affiliated. Like I'm not an
Okay.
employee of theirs. I'm not hired. I mean, I do get hired to do casting, but
Right.
I'm not like an employee
More like
of
a
theirs. I
contractor
just
type
really
deal. Okay.
support their store. Yeah, yeah. I used to go to PPG a lot, and I still do from time to time. I love them, what they're doing, cool stuff. Miami is another store down here. It's like walking distance from me.
Okay.
Love that store. So like I play wherever. But SSG is really they're really pushing the bar right now for
Uh huh.
trying to, really grow the community, and that's something that I admire, and that's something that's kind of leaned me into really collabing with them more than not.
Yep.
I love playing at their store. It is about an hour north from me, so it can be tricky sometimes, especially if you know Florida, Miami traffic. It is quite troublesome sometimes
Yeah.
to get there on a weekday, but I do my best to go to all their events. They put on a great. I mean, the owner there, Devin, is kind of a lunatic, to be honest. He just likes throwing the most insane tournaments possible,
Yeah.
and we'll look at the bill later, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
let's do the most insane thing, and then I'll cry about how much it
Pick up the
costs me
pieces
tomorrow.
on the back end. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like when you're out with your friends and you're just ordering another drink, another
Exactly.
appetizer,
We'll
and then
worry
the
about
bill
that
comes, and you're
tomorrow.
like, okay.
Uh
So
huh.
yeah, that's kind of where he's at, and he's an incredible dude, just very passionate, and
That's awesome.
because of that, he attracts other passionate people,
Uh
and
huh.
he's just willing to do things that, I don't want to say other stores are not willing to, but maybe not capable of doing,
Mm-hmm.
or just don't have the resources to do. And it's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, he really, we have an amazing team over there that I work with, Stefan and my co-host Gabe and
Uh
these
huh.
guys. We're all just real passionate people, and
Yeah.
it all
It
worked out. So
shows.
we help them, they help us, and in turn, the community grows all together. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's been a really cool experience.
It is, and I mean, look, in terms of like the overall like reach you guys have. I mean, me and three of my buddies who all got into Lorcana together, we're like watching the SSG event. So like we're in Kansas City, right? So like the reach you guys have is crazy. You guys are doing amazing things, and yeah, shout out to Devin and everyone on the team, Gabe. You guys are doing really really cool stuff. And once again, like so for
Thank
someone
you.
who I've got three young kids, I've got a wife, I can't play every weekend. Even just being able to watch
Sure.
those events and know like this weekend, there's a 10K event, like that's awesome. Like, yes, I'm jealous that I'm
Yep.
not there, but like I get to watch it, see the decks. I'm playing in a set champs on Saturday of this weekend, so
Oh, good
that's
luck.
super
Good luck. We'll
exciting.
talk about
Thank
that.
you.
We'll talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. I've got a store here who they're kind of doing like I'm not really sure why they're doing it, but they're doing it at 5 p.m. at night, which for me as
Oh
a
gosh.
dad, that's actually nice because rather than on
Oh,
like the
okay.
Sundays or Saturdays, instead of missing like the entire day if it starts at like 10 a.m. or noon,
Hmm.
I tell my wife like like I'll be home like 8 hours. Like that's like I'm typically if I'm gone for that long, like I'm tailgating and going to a Chiefs game at Arrowhead. Like that's like the only time I'm gone for that long on a weekend. But the fact
Sure.
that it's at 5 p.m., I can I'm only missing a couple hours of bedtime, right? Like just kind of like that back half of the Sunday, not even half, like that, just those few hours. So that makes it a lot easier on her as a mom with, she's gonna have 3 young kids at home by herself.
Of
It gives me a
course.
little bit more leeway. So yeah, so I'm excited for that on
That's cool.
Saturday, and
That's
then
good.
yeah,
It's good that it works out that way for you because a lot of people don't like the later ones just because you end up doing top cut at like 3 in the morning and
it's gonna
everybody's
get
like
late.
ready to
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, if you're it aligns with your schedule, I mean, that sounds like it makes sense. I don't have
it
kids and
does.
stuff, so for me, get it done as early as possible. Get me in, get me
Exactly.
out.
Yep.
But definitely there are perks to both time
It
slots for
is, yeah,
sure.
and maybe there won't be that many people there. Who knows? But I'm excited to at least try it. And yeah, I'll go as a dad getting out of the house. I'm like, I'll play as
Yeah,
late as as late as we need to. That's
that's
not a
awesome.
problem. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. And yeah, I'm excited for the 10K event too. Sounds like Zach's coming, Bivens, and all
Yes,
sorts
sir.
of
He just joined the team, and we're super
yeah,
excited to have him on, and a great asset to the team. I mean, our team's already full of really, really incredible players, but yeah, Zach is obviously the cherry on
uh-huh.
top. So very, very awesome acquisition for SSG, and we're excited to have him coming down.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited to watch him continue to play. He's definitely been someone that I've gravitated to just watching their content, right? And seeing
Mhm.
his evolution. Seems just like a genuinely good dude, and
Yes,
wish him nothing
incredible
but the
dude.
best. Yeah.
I've spoken with him a couple times in person, and then we also have him on our Discord, and just so down to earth, man. Such a cool
Hmm.
dude. You know, but it's hard to say. Sometimes you meet people that they're incredible at card games, but maybe a little more socially awkward, or
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
little more on the rude side, or not really people friendly. But Zach
Exactly,
is,
yeah.
he checks all the boxes for sure. He's a super
Yeah.
cool dude.
Yep, absolutely, and that's been something that I've noticed as well getting into Lorcana because, like you, I collected Pokemon, played a little bit of Pokemon, collected Yu-Gi-Oh, played a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh. I just never had the Magic transition that you did, so I've never
Sure.
played Magic, never collected Magic. But going through the same progression, it's been interesting getting back into it through Lorcana, just kind of seeing the different pockets of people and all these different teams that have like formed between like
Yep.
Maelstrom and then you
Yeah.
guys, and then I'm friends with Garrick who at the Ink
Yeah.
Inc. And there's just all these little pockets of people forming all
I
over the
love
place.
it.
There's the team in
We made like our own
Hawaii.
little sports league, right? Like we've
Exactly.
created like,
Yes.
yeah, the
Yes.
stuff
There's
that
like these
Wonderland's doing with the
regional.
ICL. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Yes. Yeah.
so cool. So cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's very, very, very cool. And that was I played Wonderland on unknown platform one time, and that was my
Mm.
first time. I was like learning Lorcana. I knew Lorcana, but I was practicing for my first ever set champs, and I played
Uh-huh.
him, and he beat the brakes off me. And I, after the fact, I saw someone I like mentioned someone in my Discord mentioned that he's like a pro player and a streamer. I saw a stream. I'm like, oh, dude, like I can't even compare him.
Yeah,
Like I should never be playing that guy, but it was a good learning experience. He took me to the woodshed. It was
that's the
it's
best way to
only going to
learn,
get
then,
better. It
honestly.
is.
Some
It is.
people, honestly, I know people hate to lose. Nobody wants to lose, but yeah, losing to a good player is the best way to learn.
It
Period.
is.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it stinks in the moment. You're like, oh my god, I got obliterated. But losing to good players is honestly the best way to learn the game. So
Absolutely.
consider it a learning experience. A tough
I
love,
did.
but
I
yeah,
did. Yeah. Yeah, it was like, wow. Like cuz I think I was like feeling pretty good at the time. I'd won a couple matches, so I'm like, all right, like I
sure,
got this figured out. And here's a
yeah.
big dose of humble pie,
Well, we all get it from time to time. So
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for giving me the backstory. Really,
of
really
course,
excited to see what you guys continue to do with SSG. So moving
thank you.
on to the announcement portion, right? So we got the announcement yesterday of the announcements that are coming a week from today, I guess, on May 6th. The community, the Reddits, the Twitters, there's been all sorts of speculation, right? We did get some confirmation from one of the Ravensburger staff members saying that it is more than just Rain of Jafar. So it's not just going to be your typical lore cast. We're be getting some stuff into the future, right? It said specifically future on the announcement. Now I know
Hmm.
that rotations have been hinted at. I've talked to some worlds qualified players and they've kind of hinted at their current decks might not really be that relevant to what's like maybe going to happen in world. So I know there's all sorts of speculation going on, and you specifically on Twitter have mentioned a couple times about rotations and things like that. So I guess we'll just start with like rotations, and I should say that this is not, we're not committing that rotations are going to happen. We're not saying that this is
No,
a thing. It's just something that
absolutely.
might happen, right? So just kind of talk me through what that would mean to the game, what just general speculation on rotations and how you feel about them.
Of course. And yeah, like you said, first and foremost, we don't know. You know,
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
they could come out there and say, guys, we're doing this DLC, and that's our announcement, and that's it. We don't know for sure on anything. However, the way that they've been kind of saying like the next chapter of the game, and
Right.
the way that they've been wording their promos seems to lean and a hint that there will be some form of rotation, right?
I would agree.
And I know that rotation could be a very scary word for a lot of people,
I was
especially like
scared.
people like
I was
yourself.
scared.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. It is like, what do you mean you're gonna get rid of all my cards? Like, what do you
Exactly.
mean
Yes.
I can't play? I can't play with my deck anymore, right? And
Uh-huh.
that's a scary thing, and that turns a lot of people away because they don't really know what that means.
Mhm.
Truthfully, I think Ravensburger pitches it differently. I think that they say, guys, you could still play with your old cards, but guess what? We have a new way you can play, right? We're not taking away your cards. We're adding a new way to play,
Uh-huh.
right? So it kind of spins it like we're not taking stuff
It
from
doesn't
you.
feel bad. Yeah.
We're giving you a new format, guys. So that's the kind of way that they can position it where it doesn't, sound so negative, but
Absolutely.
essentially what a rotation would be is X amount of sets, whether it's the first 3 sets, the first 4 sets. I would imagine it's 4 because it kind of lines up with what we're going to talk about. But let's say the first 3 or 4 sets, we say, guys, those sets you can no longer play if you're playing in this format. I will preface this by saying I think that there should be 2 formats.
Okay.
I think a way that you avoid people feeling awful is by allowing there to be a format where people could still play with the decks they already have.
Yes.
I don't think that they should be taking away a format because that will feel bad. A lot of people will not be happy about that, right? But however, what if we just say you could still play in tournaments that are going to be an unlimited format? You can play with all the same cards, all the same decks. However, now we're going to have new tournaments, right? Which you can only use cards from the first or from the last 5 sets, whatever it may be, right? So coming up to set 9, which is what we're assuming is going to be the big reveal, right?
Right.
We've already seen some promotional artwork. Seems to be like a classic look, like we're going back in time, kind of like, and obviously we've only seen like one picture, so we don't know for
That's
sure.
all we got, so we
But
gotta run with it.
right, we're eating what
We're just
we're
having
being
fun.
served here.
Exactly. Yes. Yep.
Exactly. So we're assuming there's going to be some kind of blast of the past kind of thing here, where we're rotating the time. We're doing something with that, right? So if we lose, let's say hypothetically, we lose the first 3 or 4 sets, that leaves us with 5 sets still, right?
Yep.
So 5 sets, you could build anything in those 5 sets with those cards, right? So what does this do? Number one, obviously, it completely changes the game, right? The game,
Absolutely.
you're losing all the be prepared. You're losing whole new world. You're losing. I mean, the list is infinite, really.
It changes
It's
everything.
literally a
Everything.
whole new game,
Yes.
right? Which seems kind of bad, right? It's like, oh my
Right.
god, like why would I want to play in a format
Lorcana's
where I
great,
can't use
right?
these?
I love
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
Lorcana,
But what it does though is it allows for more deck building opportunities, right? Like how many cards do we look at per season? And then we end up playing with maybe what, 20 of them,
Yeah.
25 of them,
Yeah.
maybe in a great
A
set,
lot
30
of
of them,
lists
if
right now
that.
don't even have set 7 cards. Like a lot of them just went back to old iterations.
Right, because the old cards are just so they're
So
so
good.
much more powerful and they're so much more relevant. What this does is it allows change in deck building, right? So it creates a new way to play, which I think is a lot of fun. You have to find new ways to do things. You have to use cards that might have been bulk. Those cards might be staples now because they're like in this format, they're really good, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really exciting. And you're
So
opening the
exciting.
door to all these cards that you've been looking at for as long as the game's been around, that have been sitting in your bulk. Now all of a sudden there's cards in there that might be great.
Yeah,
There's foils sitting in your binder that might have been 10
right.
cents and now
Exactly.
they're at $10 because so it's fun. It does create a constant change. And then what happens is every, let's say every year, I don't know, whatever they decide, we do another rotation, right? So it's always like the most current 5 sets or whatever it may be. And then what a lot of companies do, like Magic does it this way, is we do something called reprints, right? And reprints, let's say hypothetical, we're gonna rotate everything out, right? But we really, really want Be Prepared to stay in the format, right? We think
Okay.
that that's a card that the game needs. We want to make sure we keep Be Prepared. So let's say we reprint it, right? We print it in the Fabled set as a special card. Not all the cards will be reprints, but let's say we have a certain few,
Okay.
right? A few staples,
Prepared,
ones that you
Rapunzel,
want to keep.
something like that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Be prepared, Rapunzel's cards like that, Strength of a Raging Fire, whatever it may be that you want to keep around, right?
Yep.
You reprint those cards so people still can play their old versions if they'd like. You don't have to buy the new version. You could just play the old version. What I would hope is that they change the art maybe so that
Oh
way
yeah.
kind of gives you like that as a Pokemon collector, like the OG Charizard first edition
Yes.
is
Yes.
always going to be worth more than the
Exactly.
reprinted,
Yeah.
whatever. So kind of give the collectors a reason not to be upset, because if you just start
Absolutely.
reprinting cards with no difference, people probably will be upset, be like, oh, that's not,
Yep.
um but all this comes to say that essentially it's not all scary, right? Like I really, when I played Magic, I loved rotation. It meant that the game was about to shake up, like all the decks you've been playing for X amount of months are all about to, you know going into a new cycle, a new year of a new set of
Start
decks.
from
And
scratch. Okay.
yeah, and I feel like, again, as long as they still support the unlimited format that people want to play, I think that there's no problem with a rotation. I think the rotation would be fun. I think, like I said, it's going to give people an opportunity to play with cards they've never played with before, adopt new strategies.
Yep.
And I think the most relevant reason for them to do this, being that it's Ravensburger and they're very about inclusiveness, right? They want the game to be accessible. They want
Absolutely.
this game to be easy to play. And right now, if you're joining the game today and I tell you, hey, you got to go buy yourself a playset of Rapunzel's, you're gonna have to go buy some Be Prepared, you're gonna have to go buy, whatever it is you need to go buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's daunting for a lot of people. That's
Absolutely.
like, I gotta do what? How do I find first chapter? Oh, I gotta go on eBay, or I gotta go on
Yeah.
TCGPlayer. Like,
Yep. Yep.
that's hard. That's hard. But what if I told you every X amount of months the game's resetting? Just jump in.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
jump
Yeah.
in. You're at the same place as everybody else. You
That
know,
makes a lot of sense
and
when you frame it that way. That
yeah,
in
I mean,
terms of like an
you know,
onboarding like that. Yeah.
of
That makes a ton
course.
of
Let's
sense.
say you're brand new, you're coming in, and all of a sudden you find out, oh, like the rotation just happened. So I guess I only need to focus on this now. I don't
Right.
need to go buy those older cards and stuff like that. So I think there's just, it's all about how you look at it, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
negative that can be formed about this. You're getting rid of this, you're taking away,
Uh huh.
but I don't think we should look at it that way. I think we should
Yeah.
look at it as we are getting something new.
Hmm.
Um, and then people are kind of concerned about splitting the community, right? Like, oh, we're gonna have people that play unlimited, and then we're gonna have
Yeah.
people that play the
Absolutely.
new format. That sucks because and that's gonna be some trial and error. I think. I think
Yeah.
that we're gonna gain a lot of new people in the game, if we do this block format. So yeah, like we
Okay.
might have to split. But we're also getting an increase of people joining the game. I think once it's easier
Right.
to jump in.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I mean, these are all it's just kind of, sorry, I'm just kind of
No, no,
ranting, but
I love it. It's great.
these are all the things off the top of my head that I can tell you that are relevant to rotation. I think
Okay.
that, yeah, there are going to be people that are going to be upset. That's just the way the internet
There's
works.
for sure.
I don't. Yeah, if they say they're not going to rotate, people are going to be upset, right? So it's like
Absolutely.
there's no way
That's why,
around it.
dude, managing a trading card game is like I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, man. Like
Damned if
these
you do, damned if you don't. It's
I've been saying on my channel a lot, like these, because I'm once again just getting back into like trading card games, playing seriously for the first time. Like I played Yu-Gi-Oh with friends, Pokemon with friends, but
sure.
seeing the guys who compete at a high level and play religiously, I mean, like I feel like I could give them ice cream, they'd be like, "This is too cold. Like, what are you doing?" And like that's just
Yep.
like the sense that I get as a casual observer. Like every time
Yep.
I get on Twitter, there's person complain about this, but then you're complaining, to your point, if they rotate, if they don't rotate, no matter what, half's gonna be mad, half's gonna be
Yep.
happy. I do like the way you frame that in terms of onboarding more people. It's a less of a barrier to entry to get people in to speak to the inclusivity part.
Yep.
Makes the people like. I just have this like awesome vision of this family goes to Target and they're in the like board game aisle and they see Gateway and then they pick up a starter deck because they saw Gateway or the Ursula's Deep
Mhm.
Temple Quest, and that vertical integration that they have, and it with the rotations, it kind of adds another layer to that of just like being able to get in the game. Like my Steel Song deck that I've had forever, it's a $400 deck now. Half that's the
Right.
Rapunzel's, right? But
Yep.
I
Yep.
bought them a lot, before they were $50, right? And so
Sure.
I'm grandfathered in, but a lot of people aren't, and that's a barrier to entry, right? And so
Yep.
this is a great way, assuming all of that. I'm completely on board with it. It makes sense, and I can sell myself on that. Now, the unlimited support is where I would come back to and say, like, what does something like a Magic? Because I've had some people in my community explain, like, Magic has like Pioneer and then Eternal,
Hmm.
and they have all these different formats, right? So as these
Sure.
blocks happen and things get phased out, what is the popularity of the other formats? Do they have their kind of core player base? Is it, what's just like talk me through that a little bit? How would they support it? Will there be set champs for each? Like just general
Right.
thoughts.
Right. And I think that's a lot of the questions that remain, right? I mean, of course, all of this is a question. We don't know any of this is
Right,
true,
right.
but if they went ahead and rotated, like how do they handle tournaments, right? And it's going to be interesting to see, because we have league, which format is league going to be? Is it going to
Yeah.
be up to the people that attend league? Is it going to be 1 week off, 1 week another? Is it going to
Uh-huh.
be how is that going to be determined? And that's all stuff that's going to be really interesting to see how Ravensburger decides is best.
Yep.
As far as DLCs and stuff, I think they just split them up. I think that it'll help with attendance. It won't be um, it won't be so hard to get tickets if you just split the formats up. Like,
So you think a
hey, this
DLC
format
one for okay.
DLC 1 is unlimited. DLC 2, we're going to do block. DLC 3 will be unlimited. DLC 4, we're going to do block, but it's going to be with a new set now. It's going to be
Okay.
this. So like, in my opinion, that's the way that they would be able to do it. I
Okay.
don't know that that's the way that they'll choose to go. I doubt very much that they'll say all DLCs are unlimited, but we're not gonna do the block format for DLCs. But that could also be a possibility. I mean, who knows what they decide?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different avenues there for sure. But ultimately, I think that it's gonna be interesting to see. Like,
It's
are
gonna be
people gonna
fun.
adopt this new format? Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be it's a lot of questions, right? A lot of
Yeah.
questions. I mean, personally, I'm somebody who buys the new cards anyway, like every set because I collect it as well.
Yep.
So, will it be hard for me to put together two decks? Probably not. Like
Right.
I could probably have a deck box extra in my bag. Oh, I have my unlimited with me, or I have my block deck,
Uh-huh.
and I think that's fun. Having two different
Yeah.
ways to play the game. And speaking to Magic, their other tournaments have huge support.
Okay.
Magic, however, has been a lot longer.
Right,
I
for
would
sure.
say that their player base is deeper. However, when you're talking about Disney IP, the possibilities are really endless. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, like let's be honest. This first year, I don't want to say it was a crapshoot, but I just don't think that Ravensburger was planning for competitive to even be a thing
No.
until much later. They're like, all right, we'll release this game. People will play it on their kitchen counters and league for about a
Yep.
year, and then we'll bring up, we'll start building up to something. But people wanted it right away.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
just
yeah.
think that it really, they just didn't. I mean, and they did a great job for what they had. So respect to them. I'm not hating on
Absolutely.
them in any way or form.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard. You're trying to meet all these expectations. People want
Mm-hmm.
tournaments. People want reasons to play, and they weren't ready.
No.
And it feels like now they might finally be ready to tell us something. I'm hoping that this announcement, along with rotation, gives us a roadmap of like what this looks like. We need more
Yeah, yeah.
tournaments. We need more tournaments. Give us ways to play. Give us different
Yes.
ways, things to compete for. Give us more, league nights or fun get together nights or whatever it may be. Just give us more reasons to go out and play Lorcana. I think is what they need. One
Yeah.
tournament every 3 months is just it's just not enough.
Not
It's just
enough.
not enough. And I know it's hard, but that's the way. But just sorry, to sidetrack. Going back to
No,
Magic
you're
real
good.
quick. They have they have many different formats. You mentioned Pioneer. Pioneer is like you could only play with or no, Pauper rather is only play with commons. So like only commons can be in your
Okay,
deck, which is like
that's
really
cool. I like
fun.
that.
If you,
Like poor
so like if
Kana
you
type vibe or something. Okay, I like
that's
that.
what the poor Kana thing, yeah. So
Yep.
that it's fun. Like it gives you ways to play with cards you wouldn't play with normally, right?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole thing. Like getting to use all these cards get printed. So like
Right.
why not
Yeah,
why
I've
not
got
be able to play
stacks
with
of
them,
cards I've never like played with, right? They just kind of
Yeah,
make
so
their
it's
way into a deck. Yeah, that makes sense.
right. So it gives you more ways to play, which I think is really, really great for the game. And some of these formats are more supported than others. Like things like Popper and stuff are like more of a local level. Like you don't really have like a Popper Pro Tour or anything like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no big tournament for that. But they do have things like Legacy and Modern, which are essentially Legacy would be like all cards, like
Okay.
every Magic card ever printed, and then there's just a ban list, right? Like cards that are no goes, but other than that, go crazy,
Everything's
right?
okay.
That would be right. That'd be Legacy. Obviously, those games look a lot different than the block games, right? Like Legacy is
Yeah.
like turn one, do a million things, you're dead. Like that's legacy. So some people like that. Some people want to play that way. They like
Yeah.
those crazy things. But some
Uh-huh.
people don't. Some people want to play. I attack your guy, you attack my guy. More of a normal line of gameplay, and that's kind of what standard, aka rotation, does. It keeps the
Yeah.
game grounded. If it kind of refines itself, and it's like, all right,
Uh-huh.
let's stick with this, because things do get crazy. Look at Hiram. Look at all these cards that are like,
Yeah.
in my opinion, whole new world, or any of these cards that are just like absurd. Like, what do you think what's gonna happen to these cards when we have 700 more cards?
Yeah.
1,000 more cards. It gets to a point where these cards, you can't balance all these cards and just hope that the game is good. You have to
Yeah.
rotate. So that's just where it comes down to. But as far as what support will be in terms of like community, like who's playing what format and all that, that's gonna be something that's going to be really
That's gonna
interesting
be
to
the
see. That's
test.
something
Yeah.
that's where I'm really excited to see. Like, do people adopt this new format? I know I will, but like the casual person, like, do they
Exactly.
still want to play that? Like I said, I do think it's a great way for people to join the game. Like,
I agree.
I could tell friends that are like, hey, I know you've been thinking about Disney Lorcana. Well, guess what? Starting next set, you
Fresh.
could just
Yeah.
start buying these cards here. You don't have to worry about those old cards. And
Yep.
that's a lot of people like that. So yeah, all this goes to say it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, it's
It
going to
will
be
be
really
very
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
And this is all hypothetical. Again, this could not
Absolutely.
none of this could happen, and this whole podcast could be for none. But
Well,
I think that
it,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fun
no, but I
nevertheless.
think yeah, no, we're having a great time. But I do think it's if not this announcement, then at some point it's inevitable that there will have to be some form of rotation. There just, in my opinion, there has to be. I know people will say Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have one and all this, but Yu-Gi-Oh is such an overpowered,
That's what I've
ridiculous
heard.
game.
That's what I've
It's
heard.
like it's just so ridiculous, and I don't think that's what Disney Lorcana wants. I
That's
think that
what.
they
That's
want,
the.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think they
Sorry, I
want the
didn't
game
mean
to
to
be
cut you off.
not simple. No, no, I'm the one that's not stopping talking. I'm sorry,
You're
but
good.
but yeah, I just feel like yeah, I don't think that's what Ravensburger wants. I don't think that's what this game is intended to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see
and
what
I've
happens.
heard a lot of people talk online about when they're talking about like the balance of games. As I was doing my research on rotations, what this might mean. A lot of people are saying, well, Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't do it. They have to ban this, but then it was flooded with people like, and it's the
Mhm.
worst balanced game by far. Like no bar
Yep.
none. Like it's the worst balanced design, like etc. So then I'm like, all right, well, Pokemon does it, Magic does it, right? So it's like these card games that have stood the test of time are doing it. So it makes sense for Lorcana to do in that aspect. And then I put my collector hat on and I'm like, well, Disney is by far the best at bringing people in outside of the traditional TCG ecosystem. So like a
Right.
Magic player might play a different game and they're expecting rotations and they're aware of that. They might have that in the back of their mind. Like Lorcana's never talked about it, but it's something like yourself that you can easily come to grips with. You've been through it. Someone like myself and my friends, we are coming in just because we have young kids and families. Lorcana caught our
Yep.
attention, and now we're in. But we never played Magic. We didn't ever play Pokemon seriously. Never played Yu-Gi-Oh seriously. And so the rotation, that scares you. And I think to your
Yep.
point, it's all going to come down to like how does that support go, and can they? Because like someone like myself, like I am on this like I'm teetering the fence of collector and player. Like I have my play
Sure.
sets.
Most of us are.
I have my
Yeah.
play sets of all my cards, but like in my heart of hearts, I'm like, I would much rather have like another promo and a PSA 10 because like I'm not going to DLC events or like at least I haven't yet. Now in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, if there's one close, like in Chicago again,
You definitely should, by the way.
dude, I'm like, I'm
You
sold
definitely
on it,
should.
right?
Great time. It's just such a good time, man.
I
You're just surrounded by so many people that love the
yes,
game, and
and
it's
the
just like
vendors there with all the cards,
you,
like that's like
you
my
got to do
dream,
it.
dude. Like
You got to
that's
do
my
it.
dream. So like that will probably come, but like right now I'm sitting on like I have like probably like 99% of play sets like I'm set 1 through 7. So like but
Right.
I'm not going to league every night. I'm playing set champs here and there, not going to DLC events, so I'm like I'm going to be here regardless. But I know some of my
Right.
friends that I play with, the other 3, a couple of them are more casual and they've got these decks, right? And so if you have this $400 Steel Song deck and now it's only allowed in this Eternal format and it went down to a $50 Steel Song deck after you paid 400 for it, like, that stuff, it leaves a bad taste in a casual player's mouth. And so
For
to your
sure.
point, I'll be very interested in, look, I give them a very high grade thus far to your point of like, I don't think that they understood how the reach that the IP had, but in combination with how good of a game they designed, I think that's really the kicker there. Like if it was Disney, everyone would flock to it regardless. That's just the nature of the IP. But Lorcana really does feel special in the sense of like, once I actually learn the game, because I joined strictly as a collector, but once I learned the game, I like watch a couple games, so I'm like, okay, I understand this, and then I start playing it, and I'm like, oh, there's like levels to this, like, and then you understand kind of the more like chess aspect to it. But it's like, it's very like, I can explain it to my wife in 5 minutes and she'll understand the general principle. Now, if we play a game, then I'm going to be able to kind of show her, like, well, actually, this, and this I won, right? But like, there's that intricacies, but also the simplicity in combination with the mouse, and it's just like, there's no way they could have forecasted like. The game is so good that like these thousands of competitive players are willing to travel around the world after month 3 to play this game, right? We have to give them the cards. We have to get them out there. They have to be able to access them. But then it's like, yeah, there's no way that they could have, I don't know. Maybe they should have forecasted better, but I feel like it took off like wildfire. Even once again, like me and my friends, I cannot, I like, we were not going to be involved in another TCG. I had some old Pokemon cards and I collected Pokemon a little bit. One of my friends still collected Pokemon. The other two, they're brothers. They had no like TCG experience, but we all had young kids. And one of them started talking about Lorcana in our group chat. And my daughter was homesick one day. We went to Target to pick up a pack. I opened it. We pulled an uncommon Snow Queen Elsa, and the rest was history. My daughter was jumping up and down. Daddy, Elsa, Elsa. She's screaming. It's this little 4-year-old girl has her favorite character in her hands, and now it's tangible, and she loves it. And I'm just like, as a dad, I'm like myself, like my 90s, little Pokemon kid.
Of course.
Like,
I remember that when I opened my Blastoise, and I was like,
yes, dude. And so now I'm reliving that through my daughter. And so then it's like, all bets are off. I'm like, this is all I needed. But I didn't know I was missing it or that I needed it until that happened. And like, and even now, the new Pokemon stuff, like, it doesn't really resonate with me. And as a collector, I prefer like a little bit more of like the rarer stuff and things like that, like the vintage stuff. I really love that.
Of course.
And so like, there's like, I'm not into like the waifu One Piece thing. Like, I can't open that with my daughter, right? Like, I don't need a Nami or Nami or whatever like that. I don't need that coming out of a pack, right?
Understood.
And then Magic, it's just too. It's got this like facade of just like it's. I don't want to get in there. Like,
it's gotten much more complicated than it once was.
Exactly.
I mean, like every set now, there's a new keyword, a new way that things work, I mean, it's even for myself that played many years. Like, if you handed me like a new deck, I'd probably like not know what 99% of the cards do. It's just like, it's really crazy.
And I've heard, it's just very complex, right? And so like someone like myself, like I was never like, I'm much more likely to get into Magic now than I was prior. Like, I was like, it was a 0% chance. Now, like, if I continue down this route with Lorcana and then for whatever reason it fades out, like, I might look into something like a Magic or whatever, now that I know I love it. But like, that's what makes Lorcana special. And so once again, should there be any sort of rotation and things like that, like, I'm sure they've thought this out. They've done a fantastic job thus far, and hopefully they've got deep, whether it's DLCs, right? Like, I don't know if they want to have different worlds events or whatever, but hopefully they have some sort of pricing, some sort of support, some sort of events around just like this legacy format, so that way the guy who went out and spent $400 on a Seal Song deck, it doesn't go to zero overnight. And he's like, all right, well, what am I doing here? Because that's a lot of the whenever you mention rotations, whether it's on Twitter, on Reddit, the initial feedback is always like, there's so many people like, I'll sell my collection for sale, fire sale, you want it,
I've already seen it,
I'm out. Exactly. And so I think combating against that, I think your spin was very eloquent of like, here's a new way, right? Like, we're not like, this isn't gone. Like, here's just a new way to do it. And hopefully they've thought through some of that stuff. And I think that, I just, it's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of noise, right? I always try to, watches my channel, don't sell your car. Like, this is once again, we said it a million times, this is all hypothetical. But B, should it happen, don't overreact. Rapunzel's not going to zero, right? Like, take a step back. It's going to be okay. Like, they'll figure it out. And if not, I mean, look, I think as someone who is a Lorcana perma believer, I think that if the old cards, let's say 1 through 4 are gone and they truly go to zero, like those are just like, they don't, the new way gets no adoption and those cards are now worthless. All that we care about is set 5 through 9. I think that would be very, very bad for the game. And like, I could see that as like a major like red flag and like, okay, they're not really paying attention. Like that would give me enough signal of like, okay, maybe I should stop buying as many cards as I am because like this isn't a good motto. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think I definitely think they've planned for that. But yeah, that's just the one outlier of the rotations is how are they going to be able to support these older cards, the stuff that we all fell in love with, and that got me and my friends into Lorcana when we weren't participating in any TCGs, right? Like, so I think
Sure,
that's the
for sure.
question.
Yeah, and I mean, there's always if a card doesn't get reprinted right away, it could always get reprinted in the future. I
Oh,
mean,
that's
there's
a good
cards in
point. Okay.
Magic that have been reprinted hundreds of times because like it's just such a staple that they always wanted to be in their like new format,
Okay.
like because it just plays a very integral role with
That
whatever it
makes a
may
lot of
be.
sense. So even if it's not in
So like
Fabled, right, like a Rapunzel or Be Prepared, set 10, it might, right? And so, and
right, so you
then,
and all of a sudden, oh, this old card that I had
yeah,
now it's
why'd I sell
playable
my four
now.
Rapunzels? Yeah, for $5
Right.
when now
So
it's $80 again or whatever. Like, okay.
exactly. There's always a possibility. I don't think there's going to be like one set that has all the reprints,
Right,
although
right.
they could do that. But I don't think that's the way that they're going to do it. I would think that like it's a set, and then sprinkled throughout the set is like, oh, it's Rapunzel again. Oh, it's
Uh-huh.
Grab Your Swords.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Maybe we put a new art on it, or if they don't want to do a
Yeah.
whole new art, they could. It'll have a different set logo, so you'll know. Oh, but I still have my OG Rapunzels. Those have gone up to 80
Yeah,
bucks
yeah.
because
I
you
hope
can't
they
because
do new
first
arts,
chapter's
man.
out of print.
Yeah.
First chapter's not being print. So that's kind of a way they can balance the costs. Like the feels bad on cost. Like
Uh-huh.
the collector aspect will still be there. I mean, Enchanted Elsa is still going to be Enchanted Elsa. It's still like
Right.
the Charizard of the set, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Yep.
it's not all doom and gloom, guys. I
Yeah.
promise.
Yeah.
There's many games that do this, and the games are thriving. Magic and Pokemon are two huge examples.
Yes.
I know it sounds scary when you think, "Oh my God, I'm going to lose all my cards," but if Ravensburger's smart, and I have all the faith in them to do so,
Yep.
I think it'll just be two different formats. You choose the way you play, and then honestly, it'll just be up to Ravensburger to delegate carefully how they want to, have those two formats represented, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether, one format is only local level and then, the bigger formats are unlimited, or whether one and one, or, however they decide is best, I think that'll be interesting to see. But as far as the
Yeah.
card game itself, I think that we're just getting started. I think this is like
Absolutely.
honestly like the accurate timeline of when competitive should have been in their eyes starting.
Yeah.
So I think this is where like they anticipated the start, even though we all obviously got other stuff before this. So
Yeah.
I think as long as they're more transparent, I mean, and nobody wants this radio silence. Like not knowing is just so like nobody's known what's
The
going on.
communication is
Um,
my biggest thing for them. It's like even if you
yes,
don't have a formal announcement to give us, like just keep us in
just
the
let us know
loop.
you
Like
see
that's
us.
all we want to
Yeah,
know.
let us know.
Yes, like
Hey, we see
acknowledge
you.
me.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, just feel like, hey, we see you. We're working on it, and we don't have
Right, right.
anything yet, but we got you. Like something.
Yes.
But I know when you're working with Disney, I
Oh
can only
yes.
imagine the loopholes and things that have to be jumped through. You know, I'm not claiming. I'm not like a what do they call it? Like a couch quarterback or whatever
Yeah.
they
Back
say.
to
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I would have done this. I would have done it
Uh
that way, and it would have been. I can't even imagine the
yeah,
complexities
yeah, yeah.
involved with this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that they have an absolute money printer on their hands if they really handle it correctly.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I think that they've been doing a lot of restructuring at Ravensburger. I've seen a lot of
Oh yeah. New
applications
hires.
online and
Yeah.
hiring and training, and I'm hoping that they really are re-equipping themselves for a very long and healthy card game. Obviously, they've already
Sounds like
announced we
it.
have
Yeah.
Pixar coming next year, which
Cannot
like
wait, dude. Oh my
that's like
god.
mind blowing for so
Brother.
many people. Like
Dude.
Pixar.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle all that. But I think there's a lot to be excited about. I hope that they give us a roadmap, not just like, hey, this is happening. See you next week. Like, give us like, hey, this is what you could
Some
expect
structure. Yeah.
till the end of the year. Like, give us like show us we're gonna have this set, this set, this set. You're gonna have this many events. This is where Worlds is gonna happen. This is give us like give us something we can
Yeah.
see, something
Yeah. I want like an hour
So
long plus lore cast of like, all right, here's some
give me
Rainbow Forest
everything.
stuff. Here's some
Yeah,
fabled stuff, and then here's
yeah,
this online client,
yeah,
new art style, like all
yeah, yeah,
give
yeah.
me it all. And I
The
know
sets are
like
great. We need
yeah,
sets because sets are
yes,
cool, but
yes.
okay, what
Give
do
us
we
some
do
more.
with
Yeah,
these cards?
we're
Where
hungry.
where do we go
Yeah.
with these cards?
Yes.
So yeah, I mean I think it's gonna be really exciting. Again, I know we've touched on this over and over, but we will see what they decide. I think we're all anticipating. I know where I'll be on the 6th, be
Oh yeah.
anxiously sitting in front of my computer here.
Glued to the
Yeah,
chair. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I have a feeling it's going to be at the very least a very important day in the Lorcana history.
Yeah,
Um,
it'll be one for the record
but
book for sure.
we'll see what they decide. So we'll
Okay.
see.
So transition a little bit for looking to Fabled. There was this rumor with our collector hats on. There's a rumor that we're getting. I can't even remember what it was. I think it was just that one like poster of the old Mickey like
Yep,
classical art style.
on the
And then I think
carousel.
people ran yes, and people ran with it of like maybe we're getting like a new art here, a new like etc. I personally like if I could change one thing in Lorcana as a collector, it would be like give me something other than just enchanteds. Like and
Okay.
I don't need the Pokemon effect of like every pack doesn't need to have a hit. Like I don't need an EX full art, baby shiny, ultra rare gold. Like I don't need all that.
Right.
Like I think the art team, like that is what made me fall in love with Lorcana with my daughter. Like the art is amazing. Like I love it.
Insane.
Like I keep a stack of cards. Like if they just bring me joy, right? And I just love looking at it. They do such a good job. It's like I just like my thing is like I want to let them cook. Like let the artist cook. Like we don't need just a 1 in 96 like ultra rare spot. Like we could have like a 1 in 48 or whatever. Like my goal or my ideal would be you have some sort of like box hit, like an art rare style. You then maybe have like a 1 in 48, and then you maybe have the 1 in 96 enchanted. Like I love the enchanted. I don't want them to get rid of that. I love that
Right.
chase, but I just want like a couple tiers in between that have
Like a
different
full
art
art
styles.
or
Exactly.
something. Like
It's not
yeah,
just the
yeah, yeah.
legendary cold foil or the super rare cold foil. Like let the artist cook, right? They're very, very good at. Like
Right.
I've got what like I sent a Tamatoa over to Beatrice Blue, the artist, because like I love that
Ooh,
card. So it's supposed to be back any day. I cannot wait to get it back. But she sketched
that's
on it,
exciting.
and I bought her books. Like she's got children's books like that she illustrated and wrote. Like I formed this whole
Cool.
relationship with her. It's like I love their art. So like I just want to let them do more of it. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that that's coming? Like what? Just kind of from a collector's point of view, what would you like to see them do, and what are your thoughts on that?
Of course. I mean, I'll start by saying I feel like out of all the games I've ever played, and I've played quite a few, this is the game where people are more in touch with the artists than any other game.
Yeah.
I've played, Magic has incredible artwork as well. Don't get me wrong; they have some insane artists on their stuff, but like people aren't like reaching out to them on Twitter and being like, "Oh, can you please alter this? I love it." To get it
Yeah.
like it's. I feel like Lorcana, we have such a close relationship with the artists because they are like just as invested as we are in the game,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I think it's really special to be honest. Just to touch on that, I know the Illuminatiers, they have great relationships with most of the artists,
Mm-hmm.
and they all seem so cool, so humble, so down to earth, and so excited that people come to these cons and these
Yes.
events, and
Yes.
they want to meet the artists. They want this to be, like I think that's just
Yeah.
such a cool experience. But
The sketches are
getting back to
like some of my favorite cards. And that's something like on the Pokemon side, like they are very restrictive with their artists, right? Like you can't just like
yep,
go get stuff signed. Like they will get in trouble. Like they will seek
yep,
like legal action against you. But like in
right,
Lorcana, it's like you're free. It's your art. Like you can sketch. And so yeah, just side
super
note,
cool.
I absolutely love that as a collector. Absolutely love
I agree 100% on that. And yeah, I mean, as far as rarities go, I think that it'd be a really cool opportunity. I mean, I know that I've been dying for a full art, kind of card for a long time.
it.
I
Yes.
think I see a lot of alters that people do. Shout out to Bonnie B Design on Twitter. She's like one of my favorites if not, on the
Uh-huh.
platform when it comes to that. If you haven't seen her stuff, definitely
Yep.
go check her
Yep.
out.
Yep.
But she does alters that I wish Lorcana would do. I mean,
Uh-huh.
she'll leave the text box, but like everything else around the text box is like
Yes.
completely painted. And I know Enchanteds technically are like full arts, but this is different. This is like a
It
regular
is.
card that's just a full art version.
Right.
And it'd be cool to have those. I think that there's nobody who's gonna say I don't want more cool cards. Like, do
Right.
not give me
Right.
cool stuff. We don't want it. Don't
Keep
give us
that.
cool
Yeah.
stuff.
No. No. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you. So I mean, yeah, I'm sure that there's always opportunity for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I know Magic for a long time when I first started playing didn't have a mythic rarity, and then later on they like added a whole new rarity to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's always chances of stuff like that happening.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit, really. But what we'd like to see more awesome, cool ways to experience the art. Of course. I mean, who
Absolutely.
doesn't? So would it be cool to open up like some kind of serialized card or
Uh-huh.
something that's like in between an enchanted and a cold foil, yeah, I think that's obviously, I would love to say that would be coming. I don't know for sure, obviously nobody does, but
Right.
I would hope that that'd be something that they're thinking about because yeah, I don't think anybody would object to that.
Nah, and I think that from a collector's point of view, because that's something that collectors right now struggle with within Lorcana. If you're not playing the game or you don't have a way to move the playable singles that you're pulling, like 1 to 96 tough, right? Like that's a
Yep.
tough spot for your
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
chase. So it
Right.
it can lead to a very just unfavorable experience. And I've seen a lot of that.
Sure.
A lot of people, I'm kind of like the collector guy, so a lot of people will share that with me. And it's totally like I get it. Like that is a very frustrating thing because like they want to participate. They're signaling, they're buying with their purchase decisions. They're like saying, I want to be here. And then
Mhm.
it's like they're kind of like, well, you will get nothing and like it. Like, how'd that taste?
Yep.
And they're sitting
Yep.
on, maybe they have like a Rapunzel or Maleficent Monstrous Dragon or whatever, and like those cards are cool, but like they saw the Enchanted Elsa or Aurora or whatever, and so they that's why they participated in, and it's so hard to pull them, which I love. I just think there needs to be some sort of in between to kind
Sure.
of boost it up essentially. So that would be
I
now. I
don't. I
will
don't
say
blame you.
I'm not a serialized fan, so I know that happens a lot in
Okay.
Magic. I
Matt, that's something that they started doing over the I don't know how many years now, but when I played Magic, there were no serialized cards.
Okay.
There were no collector boosters. There were no like
Yeah, I
they've
don't want that
really I
stuff.
mean,
Yeah,
they've overhauled the game a
they
lot
have.
since I played, to be like a lot. But they've been
And
trying
it's
to
doing
open the
good,
door for
right? It's
people.
doing very well.
Yeah, it's
So
doing great. But
yeah,
that's what they're trying to do is they're trying to accommodate to these collectors. Obviously, the players are going to buy the cards, but they want there to be collectability. They want there to
yeah,
be reason for collectors to go to PSA and get cards graded and
exactly.
have
Yeah.
a collection of Magic cards and things like that. So I get where they're going with it. It's just a little overdone in my opinion in Magic.
Mhm.
It's like too crazy. Like right now, if I went to Walmart, I wouldn't know what to buy. Like there's just so many different kinds of boosters and different kinds of things and starters,
Yeah,
and
as a
it's overwhelming.
onlooker, I like they've got like the
It's
play, and
overwhelming.
then they've got the collectors, and then there's another thing as well, and
Yep.
it's just like
Yep.
yeah, it's too much. Like I
It's like
wouldn't know where to start.
what comes in what? Like do I have to Google it and figure out what the heck's
Yeah.
going on? It's
Yeah, then they've
yeah,
got like the
it's a
secret
lot.
layers, and they're constantly
Yep.
partnering
Yep.
with different IPs. That, yeah, from like an
Yeah.
onlooker, I'm just like, yeah, like too much. I don't
Yeah.
know what's.
Yeah.
It's just too
And
complex to
they're
even.
cool and it's cool stuff, but like it's
Right.
just to the average person, it's just a lot, you know?
It is.
So I don't think I think Lorcana has a lot to grow. Obviously Magic's been around since the 80s, so I mean
Exactly. Yeah.
it's had many, many,
Apples
many,
and
many, many
oranges for
years
sure. Yeah.
to get to where it's at. You know, we're on year 2 of a brand new game. So I think that there's, tons of room to grow. There's tons of
Yeah.
things to be excited about in the future. I know for me, I know we mentioned it already, but
Oh,
Pixar is
dude.
like I am so excited for Pixar.
Yes, dude.
As a Disney
Take
fan,
my
like I am
money. Take it.
insanely excited for Pixar. But yeah, I think there's opportunity to do all sorts of cool stuff, and I hope they keep pushing the bar on. I know the art style of the Enchanted changes all the time, which
Hmm.
is really cool.
Yep.
But yeah, to have some other form of collectability and be able to, really connect with that collector base,
Hmm.
not just the player base, I think that'd be definitely an opportunity for them.
Yeah, they've got a massive opportunity there right now, and I try and encourage people because, like, if you truly are a collector and you truly enjoy the art, like I know opening packs is fun. Like in my opinion, a lot of the enchantments right now are very, very cheap, especially the ones
Yep.
that are not in decks. Like a lot of them are like sub $100. Some of them
Yep.
aren't, right. Some of them are. Elsa's a lot more expensive than that. But
Sure.
if
Sure.
you truly enjoy the art and you just want to connect with the art as a collector, like if you just push back the urge to open packs a little bit, go after the singles, right. I always encourage people to set goals and go after those goals, whether it's your trophy cards from the competitions, your D23 cards, like whatever it is. Like just hone in on that, avoid the urge to just like rip packs relentlessly, and
Yep.
you'll get the enchantments that that you want, that you desire. It's just a little bit less fun than just ripping packs nonstop. But
For
to
sure.
your point
But
about the
even
Pixar. Oh, go ahead.
I've found myself. No, no, I was not to interrupt you, but yeah, I mean, I've even found myself like sometimes like at League, I'll win packs, and I'm like not even sure I want to open them because, like, as sad as it sounds, like sometimes it's just not like some sets are not fun to open. Like it
Uh,
just feels like it's a bunch of sub tier cards. Like
yeah.
you already own the rares in the set, so like you're literally just opening packs hoping for an enchanted. It's
Uh-huh.
so if there would be a way to just make it a little more exciting to open packs with things like you're saying, different
Absolutely.
kind of foils, or like Pokemon does reverse hollow, or I
Hmm.
don't know, something cool to add in there.
Spice
I
it
think
up.
that
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good way to
It would
spice it
add
up
to
for
the pack
sure.
opening experience. Now, I also, it's like a double-edged sword, right? With the like rip and ship like world that we exist in right now, like with Pokemon, like you can't get on social media or anywhere, and it's like there's just packs being open 24/7, and I
Yep.
feel like I don't know, I in that if they added all these different art hits and the expected value is just a lot higher in these boxes, like I could then see it getting in that world. I don't necessarily want that because then cards are like too expensive and you can't get your hands on product. It's like just this balancing act, but I
Slippery slope.
definitely it is
Yep.
it is a very slippery
Yep.
slope. But I think the collectors they need a little bit more so that I'm excited
I
for.
agree
Then the Pixar stuff,
wholeheartedly.
man, like the Enchanted Buzz, Enchanted Woody, like because
Oh,
so
oh
I had that
God.
experience of the first chapter with my daughter, and that's what got us in. But then like my son, I have my oldest daughter is 6, and then my son is 3. He'll be 4 in June. By the time we get Pixar, he'll be like maybe like 5 or around there. Like he'll be at the age of where he's not at least like eating cards, like he can at least like hold them. And so
Got
like
it.
and he loves Toy Story to death. So like opening a
Cool.
Buzz and a Woody card, even a common uncommon, like that's gonna
Yeah.
be like I'm gonna be able to kind of rehab that moment that I had with my daughter with Elsa with these Pixar and all these different characters, and then I've got
Awesome.
my newborn baby. She's not newborn anymore, but I've got a 10-month-old girl, so I'm gonna relive all the Elsas
Oh
and
my gosh. You're
Encantos and
lined up for many years to
dude,
come.
that's what I'm saying. Like I am so pot committed at this point. Like I'm all in. Like so that's
For sure.
that's where I'm at. But I'm very 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 excited for that. Now, I guess the last thing, and then we can touch on anything you have as well. But I know they hired some people around the online client. That
Yep.
was a job they posted. They hired it. I know a lot of people are on Reddit. I was looking at the announcement post and like over 100 something upvotes. I'm like, online client, please. Online client, please. Online client, please. Like that's like the people want that. Now, I existed in the world where I was around when the other one existed. And I know what it did for the game. Now, a lot of people were very doom and gloom when said platform was no longer around, like it was going to kill the game, et cetera, et cetera. I never bought into that, and I was like, had an open offer for anyone's collection, like, hey, if you're done because of this, like, I'll gladly, pay 70 cents
Sure.
on the dollar to buy your collection. But online client, what do you think that's something? Not that you can, you don't know what's coming, but is that
Of course.
something that will catapult the game to a new level? Is that something that you feel like has been a massive detriment? I know that was something that a lot of people were very worried about. Just talk me through online client. What do you think it would mean for the game and any general timeline of, what I know we got like the cardy.io and all that. It's like they're definitely working
Yeah.
on it, right? But to me, that seems like a very complex thing. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the online client?
I mean, I think it would be incredible. That's my first thought. I would love an online client. I would be incredibly surprised if they mention an online client at
So
this
would I.
announcement.
So would I.
I would be. I know a lot of people are optimistic and they're
They're
like that's like
clamoring
one of their
for it. Yeah.
predictions, and I get it. I get it. We all want it. I get
Right.
it.
Right.
I don't think this is what
I
this
don't either.
announcement is for. I think that they are definitely working on it. Clearly, if you look at the job listings and stuff, it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty clear there's something going on.
Yep.
Something's in the works. Knowing Disney and how they like their product to be, displayed. They don't just put Mickey Mouse on anything. I think
Right.
that this is going to be something that needs time. You know,
Absolutely.
and I know that stinks for a lot of people because a lot of people don't want to hear that. But
Yep.
the truth of the matter is, like, we're just getting started with this game. Um,
Yep.
do we want an online client? Absolutely. But I think that right now, Lorcana, Disney wants people in stores holding their cards, opening their packs, playing the game on a table, going to these
Absolutely.
events. I don't think we're at the level yet where they're willing to split the community up and, people will just stay home. You know,
Absolutely.
If I could
Absolutely.
grind, with all due respect, if I could grind in my underwear, till till 3 in the morning, in an online event or tournament or league or
Right.
ladder or whatever they decide, or drive an hour to my nearest, card shop
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
play 3 rounds and then drive an hour home again. You tell me, you
That's
know?
easy. Easy
So,
choice. Yeah.
right. And as much as I love seeing the people in person and I love my community and, I'll always play in paper, but let's be honest, like, it's gonna divide a lot of people, right? And I don't think we're ready for it yet. I don't think it's there yet. Would I love it if they said, "Hey, clients available next month"? I would be crazy happy about it. I don't want.
Very
I'm not
nonstop.
anti. Yeah, I'm not anti client. Like I really want a client, but I think you just have to be realistic, and I just don't think it's something that's close. I don't think it is.
I agree.
But yeah, at some point, I would love to have a client. I feel like client client, said client, Fight Club, whatever you want to call it. It kept the game alive for a long time,
Yeah.
and I feel like without that intermittent way to play the
When it was
game,
very hard to get cards and everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think, you know, I don't want to disrespect Ravensburger, but I think they've been saved a lot by their community.
I would
I
agree with
think
that.
that I think between the clients, between the online tournaments, between stores like SSG or Charlie's Collectible Show
Absolutely.
or
Yeah.
XYZ, if not for like Wonder and Pavel and these guys doing online series with pros and teams and
Oh
like
yes.
like like Ravensburger is just sitting on their thumbs. I mean, we're the ones keeping this game afloat and
Absolutely.
making these
Absolutely.
exciting things. And I hope that Ravensburger sees that, and I hope that they adopt a lot of the things that we want. Clearly we have a passionate community.
Right.
Like clearly, any other game would have been
Absolutely.
forgotten at this point.
Absolutely.
I played many games that are alive for 3-4 months, falls off the
See
edge.
you later. Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about it again. So yeah, it's just gonna be. It's gonna be. I'm in it. I'm in it till the wheels fall off, as they say. I really want this
Says
game to
yeah.
succeed. I would love this game to be just a household name and be
Mhm.
like Pokemon cards. I wish I wouldn't have to explain to random people what I do. Like they're like, "Oh, what do you play? Like Pokemon?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it's like Pokemon, but it's Disney."
The
You know.
Disney
So
version, right? Yeah.
yeah. When will it be that I could just say Lorcana and people will be like, "Oh, Lorcana,
Uh-huh.
you play Lorcana." So we have time. We'll get
Oh
there.
yeah. Very early.
But yeah, I mean,
Very early.
but I just think digital client is just not. It's not. Maybe next year. I think that that's a good place to maybe start talking about it. But I just don't see. I don't foresee it on this announcement personally.
I agree. I don't think we're getting this announcement. And I do think it would be a good thing to have. But to your point, and something that I've admired that they've done is like you don't see a lot of online like resellers or game stores, whatever you want to call them, they're not getting the product from distribution and selling it, undercutting the LGSs. Like every when a new set comes out, me and my friends all go to the LGS, we buy a case or buy whatever we're buying, open them, we play, like it's like a whole thing, and they're getting us in the LGS. And that's
Mhm.
something that I think they do a fantastic job of, and I don't want them to stop doing that. I love that grace period they have where you have to sell in person when the new set is released and things like that. Like I think it just does because without the LGS, this it ceases to exist in a lot of cases. The game itself, and so I just love that they put that focus on that. I think part of not having an online client is driving people out to League, right, and getting people involved in these events. And I think there is a major bonus to that because you're building experiences, you're building communities, and then yeah, I mean they without a doubt they have been, I don't know if saved is the right word, but like the community and what you guys have done to get them where they are, like they kind of built the airplane as it was on the runway, and then like
Right.
the runway has been extended a lot by the community, right? Like, and so
Absolutely.
there's that cannot be understated, and I'm hopefully they know that. Hopefully they're aware of that. Once again, I don't know. It maybe wouldn't have killed it. Like I'm sure they had a long
Oh,
enough
the game would have
runway.
existed, but it
Exactly,
wouldn't
but
be. It
nothing like
wouldn't
the
be as it
scale
is
that it
right
is
now.
now. Yeah, where people, I mean, you guys are having a $10,000 event this weekend. There's been events every weekend. Like there was multiple
Yep.
events last weekend. We're getting into set champs. You guys had a weekend
I love
an
it.
event. Like it's just it's relentless, and it's all just passion and fun and
When
community.
I
So
used to play Magic, one of my favorite things to do every Saturday, it would be the Star City Games tournament. Every single
yeah,
Saturday was in a different state, and it was like they're like almost like a DLC. I mean, literally, it
okay,
was like almost like a DLC, and it's every week. And they have a commentator, and they go to these different venues, and
that's
they have
awesome.
the production, and every week you have something to watch. And
Okay.
every week there's new deck lists to study. There's new things, a new
Oh
new
man.
meta to look out for. It was like so much fun, and it was part of my weekend. Every weekend I had Saturday where like people watch football and basketball,
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
I would tune into Star City Games, and I would watch, and I'd be like, "Oh, look at who's here, Brendan the Candy." If you YouTube him, you'll
Yeah.
see a bunch of tournaments he was in
Hmm.
there, and it was cool. It was amazing. And if that could be done so many years ago, there's no excuse why we can't
Absolutely.
we can't make that happen.
Absolutely.
And right now, the community's been doing essentially that. It's
Yeah.
been every weekend something fun to watch, something to look forward to, multiple things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
had we had the Ravensburg event over in EU,
Uh huh.
and then we have Arkansas, we have Zan and them over there, and
Yep.
like I mean, pick whatever you
Yep.
want to watch. So
Yep.
that's amazing, and again, all done by the community. So it's
Yeah.
just Can't ask for more
It
there.
is. You can't ask for more, and that's it. It's something that I even caught myself last at the. So I'm obviously Kansas City. I'm a season ticket holder for the Chiefs. Big football guy. I've been a season ticket holder for 12 years. So when we were terrible before Mahomes, I had season tickets. So I've been around for a
Go
long
Taylor
time. But
Swift.
yeah, my wife is a massive Swiftie and the daughter. So yeah,
My wife as well, but
dude,
yes.
it's sickening, but nevertheless. So we it was a Sunday night. The Chiefs weren't playing, but I caught myself before bedtime with the kids watching the Seattle DLC on Twitch on my phone. Like, and it's
Yep.
like the chaos of a Sunday night. Like, we're bathing the kids, whatever. But I like wanted to see who was winning, and Luke was playing in that tournament. Now
Right.
I'm a widely known discard hater. I hate that mechanic. It made me almost quit the game at one point when
Oh
Bucky was
no.
a
Yeah,
thing.
it
Like,
was pretty bad. Yeah, it
it
was
was,
pretty
I
bad.
mean, I had a very unfun time playing, and so it like not like I was still gonna collect, but like I like literally like I got on, I played like 3 games. It was all against Monkey Discard. I was like, all right, like
Yep.
this I'm just not having fun.
I don't blame you. It was a very
um
unfun experience, in my opinion. Yeah.
so Sean, the championships of Seattle, Sean was playing Luke, who Luke's a Midwest guy, so I love Luke, but he's playing discard, and Sean was playing Steel Song. I love Steel Song, so I was like, torn, but I was rooting for Sean because
Yeah.
it's like, go Steel Song. And I remember watching that and I'm like, dude, like, how did this happen? It's a Sunday night, like Sunday night football's on. I'm like the family, like it's just chaos in my house, but I'm like trying to figure out like who's winning game one, who's winning. And Sean
Yeah.
won game one, and then Luke
Who's
won
on the
game
play? Who
two.
drove?
Yeah.
Who did this?
And
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
and I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
can Sean pull off the upset? And yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like, and Luke ended up
It's
winning,
fun,
but
man.
it was just, yeah, so much fun. So to your point of like making it a, like, obviously DLCs are like a special event. They can't be every weekend, but something
Or
like
some sort of
Kim
circuit.
SSG or
Something.
whatever, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
that would be
exactly.
it would be really really cool. And I can totally see the community getting behind that, and it would be a ton of fun. Even as someone who I still consider myself a collector first, but I play the game and I watch that side, but I'm very interested in like getting the promos in the highest grade, and I have all these goals that I want to accomplish, and I'm selling cards to get to this goal, and then like like I'm doing everything I can there. But even just as a collector first, I've fallen in love with the competitive side, and seeing Zan come to random event in Arkansas that like a bunch of people in Kansas City went to, and we
Crazy.
actually had 4 people get in the top 8 from Kansas City, which was really
Awesome.
cool. But
Pretty
then
cool.
he brings a Jafar wheel deck and just crushes everyone. It's like, all right, dude, there's like levels to this stuff. Like no one was
Yeah.
like Jafar wheel,
He's
that wasn't a thing, and then just smashes
he's
everyone.
built different.
Yeah,
He's built
just
different. Yeah,
absolutely
Zan just
crazy.
understands things on a level that others don't. I mean, there's a reason why he does what he does. So
And there's
yeah.
in that like as just from like putting my like entrepreneur and business hat on, like those guys like Zach and like Zan who are building this reputation already with Lorcana and Luke and everyone else, like there's gonna be a lot of opportunities for them like down the road. Like they like if assuming Ravensburg, let's say we're having this conversation 5 years from now, like those guys between not only just their prize card winnings, which I'm on the hunt for a lot of their cards, and like I'm very jealous that they have them, but
Right.
like
Yeah,
from a
no, for sure.
brand perspective, like TCGs are just booming, right? Between all the rip and ship stuff and Pokemon's in its heyday, Magic's destroying, like killing it. One Piece is great. Like trading card games are having a moment, and there's
Yep.
so many people that are coming into the ecosystem on top of the Disney aspect of it. Like these guys are gonna have massive brands that they're gonna be able to monetize, and like they're gonna like it can quite literally be their full-time job, and they're gonna be incredibly well paid doing it. And like that's just really really cool to see that exists in the trading card
Here's
game
to
space.
hoping.
And right, and maybe look that exists in Magic, right? And I'm coming in from just the Lorcana point of view, but like it's really really cool that they're going to be able to have that experience, and like I can be fans of them and watch them on the weekends. Like I don't know, just I feel like TCGs are just, it's for those of us who are getting in later in terms of like in our adult lives and not playing Magic and things like that. Like it's really really cool to see, and I'm glad that I'm here now, right? Even though I missed out on the Pokemon boom or whatever. Like I love Lorcana, and I'm extremely passionate about it, and I'm excited to see what the future brings.
Yeah, it shows. I mean, we're here talking about it, right? So
Yeah.
obviously very excited about the future of the game and whatever it brings. I hope Ravensburgers keeping their eyes on the internet and reading people's comments and seeing what people are doing and tuning into some of these tournaments and who knows? Like you said, the sky's the limit for a lot of opportunities that are going to be opening up. Who knows what's going to happen with the future of this game?
Yeah.
So.
No
Um,
doubt.
yeah, I mean, we're all hoping that this is the next Pokemon. I mean, I don't think anybody wants this game to fail. So,
No doubt.
I'm just hoping that we keep on trucking.
Absolutely. All right, man. Let's end with something fun. What is your favorite artwork or favorite card thus far in
Ooh,
Disney Lorcana? Do you have one? I know there's a lot of good ones. I struggle with like picking
ooh.
one, but if I said, okay, everything costs $1, you can have one card irrespective of value, right? It's not going to go up after you buy it. It's just what's your favorite card or favorite art if you could just have one.
Wow. I'd really have to think about it. I mean, I think an iconic one that a lot of people will probably say is the giant Tinkerbell. I think that's like
Yeah,
a when you think about Lorcana one day, 10 years from now, I think that's gonna
one of
be
the foundational
like
pieces.
one of
Yeah.
the ones you're like, oh, giant Tink, like that's just one that stands out above the others in my opinion. Just because it's just such a cool concept and the art is just so well done.
Yep.
But right now, my favorite card as far as art is probably Enchanted Show Me More from this new set. It's the
Okay.
queen and she's like
Yeah,
standing in
yeah.
front of the mirror and there's like vines
Uh-huh.
and
It's a
thorns
very
around
good
the
art. Dude,
card.
Arcasia's Islands Enchanted's were chef's
Slaps.
kiss,
I mean,
dude. Chef's
yeah,
kiss. Yeah.
yeah. Enchanteds are out of hand. There's just so many good ones.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, like I could. There's ever as was it not ever as before. What's the name of the card? It's
What
Sleeping Beauty dancing with the prince, and then the reflection is her dancing with the owl. Um,
what is it, this set or what set is it?
no, it's an older set. It's
If you
not
tell
ever
me
as
the set,
before.
I'll be able to remember it. But I can't.
Oh my god, I
Aurora
don't want to
dancing
hold
with
up the show thinking about it.
uh
I'll tell you right now. Let me see. Let me see.
okay. Yeah, track it down. Because
TCG
now
player.
I'm thinking of like
You
Show
talk.
Me
I'll
More, and
figure it
I
out.
yeah, yeah. No, you're good. You're good. I personally, I there's a lot of cards that I love, but the Elsa holds a special place because that's what got me and my daughter into it, and so like that will always hold a special place. But my
So
non-Elsa answer is like the Tamatoa. I don't know, something about seeing that card. It was like I immediately knew that it was a new artist. I had to have it, and I actually opened it out of my first booster box case that I opened of Arcadia Island. I pulled it in the LGS. They had to tell me to like shut up because I was like being loud, but I was like a kid in a candy shop, dude. Like I was that card. It's magical. I love it to death. So
where is it? I'm literally on Dreamborn right now, scrolling through Sapphire cards.
it's a sapphire. So
Uh,
it's not Dreaming Guardian. It's not sleep or yeah.
no, it's an action.
It's an
It's
action.
Sapphire. Oh, I don't want cost 3. That's probably what I messed up here.
Gotcha.
Hold on.
I'm
Let's see
trying to
here. I'll
think,
tell you
man,
right now.
because I Aurora
I'm
dancing.
gonna say it and I'm gonna feel so dumb. I'm confusing it with another card. There's Ever As Before, which is Belle and Beast dancing. But
Yes,
then
but
this one,
that's not an enchanted, right?
no, oh no, neither of these are enchanted.
Gotcha.
Neither
Okay,
of these
that's
are
where I.
enchanted.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, neither of these are enchanted. This one is. It's like a. It's such a random. Oh, another great one, Enchanted Mufasa, the
Oh,
blue
dude.
one,
Yeah.
Sapphire. Absolutely. Now that I'm scrolling through,
Uh
absolutely
huh.
insane art.
I
Absolutely insane art.
love what that card illustrates because it's been like a $250 to $300 card since it came out. It gets like very little competitive play, but like the community just like knows that like, hey, this thing's special. And with James Earl Jones passing away, like there's
Yep.
that card. It's like it signals like the collector aspect of
It's
Lorcana more
it
than a lot
is.
of the other enchantments. It's just a gorgeous card, by
It's cool.
far one of the
I
best
found the
ones.
card by the way.
Okay,
It's
what is it?
called Seldom All They Seem.
Seam. Yep, yep, yep. Okay,
Seldom All
very
They
good.
Seem. And it's very like, a not you wouldn't really think of it as like a oh like amazing art, but if
Uh
you
huh.
really like look at the picture, it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
She's dancing with the owl, and then in the
Yep.
reflection, it's with the prince. So it's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool. I thought it
Yeah.
was really cool. But
I
there's
like a lot of
infinite.
the
I mean,
subtle stuff. Yeah,
I could go
the
on
artists do
forever
a
on the
great
art
job.
of this game.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I literally like keep like I just like a stack of like enchanters next to me of like cards that
Well,
I
I don't have enchanters, but I
oh
have bulk that I haven't put away
hey,
yet.
that's all
So
right,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
all right. Yeah, I love like
Yep.
yeah, even something like the Goofy. Like I love the art on this. Like he's got like a left hook, like he's coming down on somebody, like he's
Yep.
ready to go.
Yep.
Like
When that
I
first
don't know.
got pre like what? A superhero Goofy? What?
Yeah, dude.
That's
Yeah,
cool. It's
it is
cool.
awesome. Yeah. So
Game's great, man. A lot to be excited about, man. And again,
no doubt.
just hoping that we continue to ride this wave, and I'm hoping we have just a little more input from Ravensburger. As much as I love the community. I don't mind, doing these elaborate things for the community and being a part of this amazing community. It would just be a little, a little push from the actual company that's
Yeah.
doing the game would be nice. So
Yeah, we've put a lot of
yeah.
work into not we I would not put myself there. You guys have done a lot of work on the
No,
runway
no,
of like
all of us. You
extending
created
this.
it as well.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You're being too kind. But yes, they need to get the plane off the ground, right? Like The roadway's been extended a lot. They need to
Right.
lift off for sure. So okay, well,
100%.
very good, Mike. Thank you very much for joining me. What socials? Anything you wanna plug before we get out of here?
Yeah, number one, SSG 10K this weekend. Make sure you guys tune in. Me and Gabe will be on commentary for both days, and
It's gonna be a long
I
couple
know
days, man.
it's gonna be
You better
really
have some
rough.
energy drinks ready.
Oh my God, it's gonna be rough, but it's okay. We love it. We're gonna do it for for you guys,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's gonna be great. Like you mentioned, Zach Bivens will be there. I believe Zan Syed will be flying in. You know,
Dang.
all the heavy hitters will
Clash
be
of the
there, so it'll be
Titans. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. So definitely check that out, and it'll be on their Twitch and their YouTube, Southside Gaming. And then as far as myself, yeah, first to 20, you can find me. I mostly talking on X. I just spit out my thoughts there.
Great
But I
X
am trying
follow
to get
though. By the
better.
way, great X follow. Just a
Thank you.
shameless
I
plug. Yeah,
appreciate you.
absolutely.
I appreciate it. Yeah, and I'm trying to get back on my YouTube game.
Okay.
Hopefully with these new announcements,
Some
I'm motivated
content.
again to
Yeah.
like talk about stuff.
Uh-huh.
This was a great way for me to kind of express my thoughts as well. So I really appreciate it
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I kind of just have all
Pleasure.
this living in my head. So it's nice to chat with you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, pretty much those two spots you could go find me and definitely go show some love to SSG and follow
Perfect.
Cardboard Kingdom.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, thanks for joining me. It was an absolute pleasure to get to talk to you. And yeah, excited for the future. So, with that being said,
You as well.
guys, yep, absolutely. So, with that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching. Comment any additional follow up questions or anything you might want us to maybe chat again with or whatever on the rotation front. Once again, I know a lot of you guys are very collector focused, like I am. So, hopefully, this helped. I feel like I'm in a great spot. I feel like, obviously, we have to see what comes. But overall, I feel like this was great to just kind of understand it at a deeper level. Thanks again, Mike, for joining us. And with that being said, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.